So Gary, tell him one more time. How long have you had this car?
I bought it in July of 1968.
And it's a 1969.
Yeah, it's in 1969, so this is just past July of 2023. That's 55 years.
Oh my gosh. It's a long time to own a car.
It is. And it's still a thrill. It's still fun. Okay, so Ellie, you pump it 5 times, and then I give it a partial throttle. And I pump it so it smooths out. I had always been in love with sports cars, and when I was in college, I had a 1965 MGB. And I was working at the physics department in their lab, building instruments for them. And one day, this orange sports car drives around behind the building, and I didn't recognize it. It was a 911 Porsche. So it was 1966. I suspect the professor bought a brand new one. I fell in love with it immediately. I graduated in I was still working as a graduate, working on my master's degree in physics, and I had friends who were also graduating, and at the time I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I went to California. I got a really good job. I had 2 choices: Lick Observatory as an astronomer and sure to get drafted, or Lockheed Missiles in Space, where I thought I had a pretty good shot at avoiding the draft. And they were able to prevent that until, and I was there for about a year and a half. And then I was picked up on a job down here at Fort Ord, and it was also defense related. And so I was doing my part for the country without going to Vietnam. And I'd lost friends already, and that was really sad. So I bought the car, and no, I'm sorry. I then came to Monterey, and I met my wife. I dated her for 3 years, but in the meantime, I bought my car. And so this was 1969, just a few years. I was right out of graduate school, and it was slate gray. Now, a friend of mine bought a slate, a dark metallic XKE, and I just had to do something as good or one-up him. So I got the gray 911, a doctor car, we called him, a sophisticated car. I drove this off the showroom floor from Worcester.
Wow.
And I turned in the MGB.
So you traded?
Turned it in.
And that's before you got married, did you?
And that was before I got married.
Yes.
And my wife reminded me many times that she paid for that car, only because she helped me pay for it after we were married. I used the car. It was an everyday driver.
Did your wife know how to drive stick shift too, or?
No, she never drove it.
It was only you that drive it. Okay.
And it was my commuter car down to Hunter Liggett, or to Fort Ord, but it was an everyday driver. I was going to enjoy the car. It wasn't going to sit in the garage to, become not a, some treasure that I just looked at. So I drove it every day, and in a sense, you might say I used it. I didn't let it control me. I took it.
You had fun with it.
Um,
Awesome.
It's nice to know the end of where it's gonna go to.
Well,
It's
I'd
nice.
like to know where it's going to go.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to know what sometime
Who's going to get it next, and hopefully it's somebody local that I
somebody
can.
local or somebody.
And here it is. This is after we cleaned it up. We put the original rims back on it, the numbers matching ones, and some new tires. This is a true one owner, locally owned 69 911T that was purchased at Wester's in 1968 and owned by the same owner up until this year when he finally decided to sell it as he was getting quite old. He wasn't driving it as much. But we have a lot of documentation. Of course, we have videos with him where he talks about it and he knows every inch of this car and all the quirks and everything. And we also have videos, photos, documentation, all to prove that he is the original owner of this car. So one owner, 911T. We're going to show you every inch of the car, so enjoy this video. And if you guys have any questions, call me. Our number is 831-920-8216. Okay, let's take a look at this interior. So overall, it's in really good shape. I would say it's just like the exterior. You'll see some minor flaws, but really nothing significant or worth tearing apart and redoing. It's all in pretty good shape. Nice seats. These things are plush. Nice carpeting. Underneath, carpets are in good shape. Or decent shape, just like everything else. And here's inside the trunk. Of course, we're gonna take off everything so you can see it. It looks good here. It looks like it's free of any nose hits or anything. Anything significant enough where it's noticeable. The seals are in great shape. The carpeting is in great shape. You got your toolkit right there. I'll walk you through that as well. So it's pretty clean under here. This is the original numbers matching rim, guys, which is amazing. You'll see the date here somewhere, right there, 4/1969, which is also on all the other ones. They're all numbers matching, including this. I think this might be even the original tire. I don't know. This is a very old Michelin tire. That could be the original one to the car. Okay, now we got everything out of here. This is just surface rust here. Nothing really in terms of rust here. Nose looks very clean. Okay, let's show you this floor pan. So there's really not much leaking going on here, which is pretty amazing. You'd expect an old Porsche to at least have a few little drips, and it does have one, but nothing really significant. I'll show you guys. So it's all pretty dry here. You got one little thing there. That's a transmission number. Transmission's also pretty dry. And those are the floors, no rust. This is a Monterey car all of its life. So there are no rust anywhere on these floor pans. And we're gonna try to show you every inch of them right now. The tires are practically new. And here are the extensive service records that we have for the car. It's amazing to see everything like this. We have the original California pink slip, and you'll see, of course, the name on the pink slip matches the name on the original maintenance book. That also matches the name on the original Porsche car that they gave him, his old stickers that were on the motor. And I don't know if Porsche gave this to him or the dealership did to put on the dash. That's his name with the Porsche emblem. I don't know what the story of that is, but it's in a container and it looks really interesting. That's the guy right there. He bought it at Western Motors. It's a local car all of its life with an amazing story. Never been sold ever. Same owner since day one. He bought the car in 1968 and it's a 69, so he bought it when it was brand spanking new when it came out to the dealership floor. And here are the documentation. There's nothing recent, so I don't think there's a point of going through everything here. He replaced the transmission multiple times. He said he never replaced the motor, but he did a bunch of head jobs, so that could explain all of this. And then just regular maintenance. The car needs another service anyway, so I don't think that anything here. It went to precision a lot. It looks like this was some of the transmission receipts that were extensive, like 2,500 here, 2,500 there. There's a lot of receipts, and I don't think you guys really are in need of going through everything. Although if you want to, you can come and do it. This is when they did the heads. So they did the heads a few times, he said. And again, when you only have one owner, you know exactly what happened. And he knew quite literally everything about the car because he bought it since day one. Really cool story, really cool history, and a lot of documentation for whoever's buying this one owner 6990. It got a little dark on us, but let's show you guys how this car runs. So it fires right up always, even when it's really cold. It doesn't smoke excessively out the tailpipe. The engine sounds good, idles well. A little bit of a squeaking coming from a loose belt right there. But besides that, it runs really strong. Sorry it got kind of dark on us, but it is his numbers matching engine, and that's about it. The car really runs and drives strong. Like I said, it was driven daily for when it was bought new. It was never sat for any certain time. It was never parked for a long period of time. He would always drive it, service it, work on it. It's a one owner car that was driven here in Monterey County since the day it was bought new, daily.